Today we're diving into a thrilling project, setting up the OpenAI and Twilio integration. This is going to be a fun and educational journey, so let's roll up our sleeves and get started. OpenAI has recently launched its Realtime API, which presents a fantastic opportunity for developers to create innovative applications. If you're new to this API, I highly recommend checking out my earlier video that explains its features and capabilities. You can find that in the top right corner of this video. Trust me, it'll give you a solid foundation for what we're about to build. In this tutorial, our main focus will be on creating a real-time speech-to-speech application using Node.js. The next video will explore a similar project using Python, so stay tuned for that. There's a repository available that we can utilize to expedite our setup. This will allow us to focus on coding rather than configuration. So let's go ahead and download that repository. Once we have the project downloaded, I'll open it in Visual Studio Code. As we explore the files, you'll notice that we need to input our OpenAI API key. The repository also includes a code of conduct and an index file where we'll set up our API. For our API framework, we're using Fastify, which is known for its speed and efficiency in handling requests. This will help us set up our routes seamlessly. When it comes to managing real-time communication, we'll be utilizing the WS library for Websocket. This is a crucial component of our application, enabling low latency interaction. If you've seen my previous videos, the events related to the OpenAI Realtime API should look familiar. We'll access our API key to initialize the WebSocket connection, ensuring that our application can communicate effectively with the OpenAI service. Now let's move on to setting up our local environment. First, we need to modify the configuration file, which will allow us to manage our environment variables securely. This is a best practice that keeps our sensitive information safe. Next, we're going to set up an Ngrok server. This tool is incredibly useful for exposing our local server to the internet for testing. Once Ngrok is running, we'll need to create a webhook in the Twilio console. This webhook will enable Twilio to communicate with our application. I'll guide you through
appending the necessary endpoint
to the Ngrok URL, so you'll be ready to test our integration. It's also important to rename the .env example file to .env. This file will store our environment variable, including the OpenAI API key. Keeping this information organized and secure is essential for a smooth development process. With our setup steps laid out, let's dive into the implementation. We'll move on to coding our application.